Hello, everyone. Welcome back to day 17. Yes, day 17. And we are going to be covering some great stuff. I'm really excited today. We're going to talk about healthy eating, and I'm pretty much going to do a little showing of my secret way of preserving myself, and that's through juicing. Using some super greens like kale and celery and cucumbers and spinach. And so we're going to talk all about that, right? Okay, so welcome again, everyone. My name is Karen Dade, and I am the CEO of Multicultural International Development Company. And it is that company that has been hosting this 30 minutes a day self-love boot camp challenge. And so we've been covering a lot of ground, and we're going to continue to do that all the way to the end. I hope today that you will have your pens or pencils and your pads of paper, things that you've been taking your notes on, and I've been asking you to keep a journal. So I'm hoping that you have that close by, because you might hear some things that may be new to you that you want to go ahead and to look up, as well as, I don't know, I'm just a note taker. So if that works for you, please go ahead and do that as we get ready. I'm so excited. Half of the show is going to actually feature another one of my favorite empowered women. And that's Miss Konami Chisholm. And so she's going to be coming on. She's an expert in organic gardening. And so, of course, the gardening and juicing and all of these things do connect. So we want to just get everybody, we're talking about self-love as it relates to healthy mind, body, and spirit. And so, again, this whole activity here is really going to help to do that. So you can throw away your Red Bull if you drink that, because you're going to get plenty of energy from what I'm about to show you. And I want to get started. So today's show is self-love food for thought, planting seeds and reaping the benefits in a time of crisis. And so although I've juiced for a very long time, it's especially helpful for right now during this pandemic. It strengthens your immune system. It's just great nutrients. Okay, we're talking about fresh produce today, right? It enhances when you're trying to detoxify the body. It helps to work through that. Dr. Gudger the other day talked about the gut, and we need to keep that gut really healthy. And so this really improves gut health. Let me see what else I can think of. It alkalizes the body. So we have pH. We need to have a pH balance in our system. And so oftentimes when we don't have that balance, the minerals that we need, it pulls on other aspects of the body, and then it depletes our energy and our immune systems. So it's definitely going to help in that particular area. It's all day energy. And so this is what I'm saying about, throw away the Red Bull if you need it. Go ahead and invest in a juicer. This juicer it's Cuisine Art. And it was pretty inexpensive, if I can remember this one. I don't know, I think I probably paid about $79 for it. And I'm talking today, but I'm also realizing, or at least I know, that not everybody has access to all of the kinds of things that I'm going to be talking about. That they would have a juicer, that they would have just access to be able to go out and to get fresh produce. And so I'm very, very well aware of that. But then there are other things that you can do when you don't necessarily have a juicer. And this is why we're doing the gardening part of this today too. Because If you've never gardened before, now's a wonderful time to start. We're talking about self-love, and there's something about putting your hands into the earth and planting seeds, right? And then seeing things grow from the ground that you can eat or you can admire. When we look at flowers, and it's just not admiration for flowers. We use flowers for flower essences. People use it to make cologne, of course, with perfumes and stuff like that. My daughter's actually been doing tie-dyeing with the use of beautiful, colorful flowers. And so just nature in and of itself is such a healing process. And the fact that we have that at our disposal for most of us, we really need to take advantage of it, right? And so I'm so glad that so many of you have just stayed with me for the past 17 days. One of my, I sincerely hope that, because I know a lot of you who are on here, and the fact that we have maybe some greater resources to be able to have a juicer and to do these particular things, it's getting ourselves strong so that we can also get out to help others who may not have the same kind of access that we have. So I've talked a little bit before about this concept of being a philanthropist from the perspective of not just money, but our skills and what we can give to make our community stronger. So this is about us. When we say We Network, which is the entity that hosts this particular show, we're talking about Women's Empowerment Network. And so we're really trying to build that empowerment network so that we can consciously and very intentionally, help others. Again, our families and our communities. Okay, so you know that we do this very naturally. It's very authentic. So should you hear Warhol, our dog, bark, or family come in or out, don't be alarmed. Just stay engaged with what we're going to share today. So again, I want to welcome everybody on. It's so wonderful to see folks are getting on board. That is fantastic. I want to be conscious of time for the juicing because I want to make sure at 6:15 we're going to be able to bring Konami on. And so one of the wonderful things right now that my family here that we're doing is we've just started a gardening project, and the whole family is involved with that. And so I'll probably take the camera out just to kind of show where we're starting just before Konami gets going. And then we're going to turn it over to Konami because she's really got some things growing. She's got what we call green thumb, and she's just an exciting person. So I want to kind of, as I'm showing, I want to also kind of chat with you. We'll see. I told you the dog, right? Okay. All right. So we were talking before, and someone asked me how long had I been if I was a vegan or a vegetarian, basically what was my lifestyle, my eating lifestyle. And I had said since 1977, I have not eaten any beef or pork. And for very long periods of time, I went without any meat, like poultry and even fish. So sometimes it depends upon where I am living. That what my body is craving for, of what I need, that's kind of also a sign for me that I follow. But I am pretty much a raw vegan. At least 51% of that I eat raw vegan. So it's always on produce, whether or not if I'm juicing, salads, making all kind of great things, etc. and so on. And I couldn't remember at the time. I said that the book that really got me going and taking on this lifestyle was Cooking with Mother Nature. And I couldn't remember the author's name, but I remember it now. His name is Dick Gregory. So he was a comedian turned into this really, really health person way back in the 70s. And so I just got so much information from him. He even devised a way to feed the planet, each person on the planet, for 39 cents a day with produce. So absolutely amazing. I also was encouraged to choose this lifestyle through my eldest brother, who has since passed away. But he started the urban gardens in Roxbury, Massachusetts. And if anybody knows Roxbury, you know that, well, it's kind of gentrified now, but it used to be about 97, 98% African American. And so what he did is we had about 4 blocks of garden right in that community. And we had our elders teaching us. So I was about 15 then. And we had our elders teaching us how to grow food, right? So many of us, our kids today, they think that, the food grows from the grocery store. They have no idea on, where the food comes from. So that's of concern. So I'm having a blast that my daughter is, and her partner has decided to go ahead and just do this all out family garden. My other daughter, Courtney, I know they're doing things as well. All of my kids right now, actually, they're all doing this gardening piece with their children. And so I couldn't be happier about that. So the very first thing that I want to show you, hi, welcome Konami, you're on, that's great. So we're going to be going soon, so I better hurry up. What I do with the celery, I want to show you something that I think you should know, is that, and these are just tips from me. You can do it whatever way you want. I always wash all of my vegetables with apple cider vinegar. This is such a purifier when it comes to, these grow from the ground and then they're handled in the store or they're handled from the market. And so you really want to make sure that they're going to be really clean. So I will always soak my vegetables in a bowl of, well, I'll pour a little capful and then the water in as well. I also use a vegetable brush to be able to brush my vegetables that I don't want to take off the skin from, like cucumbers. Cucumbers will keep you hydrated. They keep the skin really glowing. Kale you can grow any time of year, and this is definitely the superfood, right? And then, of course, celery. Celery is good for the bones. If you have arthritis, if you have anything like that, you're doing heavy exercise, celery is always good. So I like to put this whole combination together. And then, of course, I have some spinach here as well. So what I am going to do is just simply, quickly, just getting everything ready. And I'm going to make this really quick because I really want to get to Konami's presentation. So I'm just going to put this little piece in to soak for a minute as I chop up some celery very quickly. One of the things that I like to do with knives, if you're ordering knives, order a ceramic knife. And I'll tell you a little bit about it later on food. I actually took a microbiotic teaching course when I was about in my early 20s. And even the way you slice your food will keep that yin and yang all balanced. And so it's amazing what we can find out about food and how it applies to us, right? We're planting seeds of love in all kinds of ways. And we're expecting some things to grow out of this 30 days, right? So I am slicing. You can't see it, but you can see the motion. And it's on a diagonal that I'm doing my celery, okay? I will take that in there and throw that. And then I will go ahead and grab my greens. There are all kinds of kale to grow. I like this particular darker kale. It grows all the, throughout the season. This can grow in the wintertime. And this is a very powerful, particular brand of kale, I think. Now, for most of us who cook greens, we know that we usually peel and, just use the body, the leaf of the kale. So I'm just going ahead to do that. And I hope that everybody's with me. I can see some yummies there. I don't know. A lot of people can't stand superfoods, greens, even when they're fresh. And, I have to cheat a little bit. I have to tell you that I do put a little juice in with mine because it can be strong. So the juice that I like, and again, this goes, to the fact that I have the resources to buy pomegranate, which is an antioxidant juice, and it's 100% juice. So it's pretty expensive, but I take this and I put that also in my greens just to give it a little sweeter taste to it. Now, juicing is different than making smoothies, right? And I think probably we'll have a chance to do some smoothies and making some really nice fruit smoothies, but I'm sure you already know how to do that part of it. So this is why I'm just kind of doing this particular piece. So I'm making sure, again with my scrub brush, that my vegetables are washed off very well, okay? And as I said before, that cider vinegar purifies anything. And so this is a really rushed job, but I'm still hoping that you're going to get the point. All of these good things are going to go into the juicer. And I have to tell you that the kale does not have as much juice. So what I do, and I don't know if we can move this up a little bit. It's for you to see it. Put my cucumber in first and then put my leafy veggies in. Okay, I'll add my celery. Now, when this has its highest potency is right after you juice. When it becomes juice, that's when you pour it and you drink it. So within that 30 seconds, you want to drink it. It's not going to, it's fine if you have to wait and drink it later. It's okay. Here comes some noise. I love it, and I needed this energy. I usually do this in the morning, and I kind of felt myself sluggish today, and so I'm celebrating the fact that I'm going to be able to have some of my superfood green juice. Now, I do a lot of other little things, too. I know that my daughter, actually, I think all my daughters right now are using black seed when they are, juicing or whatever. I have the tendency to use oregano, but all you need is one little drop, and it is an immune booster, totally. So whenever you're feeling sick or you feel like you're coming down with a cold or something, get a bottle of this. It's so strong, I'm only going to put like a one drop. That's enough. You will taste it, okay? And so, as I told you before, I'm going to mix this. Now, doesn't this look delicious? Look at that beautiful green. It's alive, right? This is the whole thing about plant life. It's living. When we, and I'm not disparaging those who eat meat. I'm simply saying, as Dick Gregory would say, for a 15 ounce of steak, it takes a whole day, 24 hours for that to digest in your system. And all of your organs are overworking in order to process that, right? And so, again, living. This is living, right? So I'm going to go ahead. Okay, okay, I hope that it doesn't disconnect again. As I said before, I'm going to pour a little bit of pomegranate in. Now, let's say you're on the run, right? And I don't usually do powder. I like the natural. I like to be able to have it fresh and raw. But let's say you're on the run, you don't have time. You can always pick up these little packets of superfood greens. Again, I don't really like the powder much, but these are nice to put into smoothies, fruit smoothies as well. So give me a chance. I'm going to drink mine down. Sorry to be rude. Oh, wow. That just gave me the energy that I needed, honestly. Honestly, honestly, honestly. So again, we can talk about this more. I just wanted to get everybody going and just know that when we're talking about self-love, that our bodies are our temples, right? And we have to honor them. And by honoring them, it's putting the proper nutrients and food into the body. And so this is a part of that, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and carry my camera on. And Konami, if you can go ahead and send me a request to get you on, then I can go ahead and click you in. And so I'll wait for, I got you, girl. I got you. That's Niana asking, where's her green drink? It's all right here. So we're going to do it later. I just wanted to kind of give people a little sense of that. Yes, Konami. So we're waiting for Konami. She should be coming on. Hey, woman.
Hi, how are you?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Good.
All right. Well, I didn't have the chance to give a proper introduction, but I want to kind of do that now to our listening or watching, viewing audience. Konami Chisholm, she's an amazing woman, and I met Konami when I moved to California, same time that I met Donna Gudger, Dr. Gudger as well. And Konami was the registrar at the university that I was at. She also is connected with the correctional system in helping many of our young inmates get through this ordeal, especially as it relates to mass incarceration and so many of our young people that shouldn't be there, at least for the times that they're given. So she does this amazing work. But on top of that, she is an expert in organic gardening, which is why I wanted to have her to come on. So again, welcome, Konami. And here's a little tidbit that I just found out today. Konami, I've known you for 20 years, and I did not know that you were the niece of Shirley Chisholm. And for those of you who do not know who Shirley Chisholm was, she was the first woman to ever run for president in this country, and she was a Black woman, right? So look her up. If you don't know who Shirley Chisholm is, look her up. And this is the niece. So you'll see how all this comes together. So Konami, what do you think I should do? Should I go out and we've been doing, we started the garden over here. We've been growing all kinds of things. We've got herbs coming up and all kinds of other stuff. Should I go out while you're talking, or how should we do this? How do you want to teach us a little bit about organic gardening and why it's so important?
Sure, that sounds good. We could start there.
Okay. All right. So you go ahead. You go ahead and talk. And
So sorry, I think it's frozen, but hopefully not. Anyway, I oh, okay.
I hear you.
Okay. So I started gardening with my dad when I was around 14. That was the first garden experience out in Queens. And my dad had taught me how to create the rows and get the soil prepared. We didn't use any pesticides. It was all organic.
Konami?
Sorry. I'm here.
Konami?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. All right. I thought we
Can
kind of
you hear
lost.
me?
Okay. I'm going to
Yeah.
be turning this as you're talking. I'm going to turn this around. So go right ahead.
Okay, so I see you have some plants. I can't tell what they are.
Yeah,
In
I can kind of tell you, but I'm just showing these as I'm trying to get everybody psyched up and motivated while you're telling us on how we need to do these things. Why is organic
so
gardening so important?
Okay, so it looks like you're going to put those into the ground.
I am.
Um, okay, so with any kind of plants that are in pots like that, what you want to start doing is getting your soil amended. And when I say amended, you can amend with eggshells, yes, and mulch. I always like to get organic soil that has amendments like the chicken manure in it. You never want to use steel manure. So always be careful of that. Go with the chicken manure, enhanced soil, and you start adding that to your garden plot, mixing it in. And then what I do is I like to water it down and start getting it prepared like that. Then the next thing that I do is I start planning out how I'm going to plant the veggies that I have and which rows I'm going to put them in, making sure that the ones that really need a lot of sun get the sun first. Those that need shade, you want to kind of put those towards the back so that they're not being burned. And then once I have the holes and everything's planned out, I write it down. I always keep a journal. I start digging the holes, and once I remove the plants from the pots themselves, I loosen up the ball that the plant is attached to before putting it in the ground. So you want to spread out the roots. Then once you get that into the hole that you've prepared, just start putting the soil gently on top of it, and then really water it well. You want to make sure you have a lot of drainage, because if your soil is not draining well, it's going to be pretty stagnant, and you're going to see your plants turning yellow, or they're not going to start growing. Steel manure, someone's asking, what is that? That's cow. You know what that is. Cow poop. You don't want to use that at all. It's very harsh. It really burns the plants, and it smells bad.
Yeah.
You know, chickens are eating veggies. They're eating leftover veggie scraps mostly. And like I said, you want to go organic with that. So I see you have some rosemary there.
That's what I'm showing off.
Uh-huh.
I knew you knew what it is. And what about this?
What is that?
I think it might be dill. I got to check with Neonda.
I can't tell what that is.
I think that's dill, because this is our herbal.
Oh, okay. I see dill over to the left there. Yes.
Uh-huh. And then,
I don't know to the right.
And
but
then
so I see you're going to have the herbs in a separate area, which is good.
Yeah.
And rosemary likes a lot of sun. I mean, it can take a lot of heat. Can you plant right after you amend? Or I like to wait a day, just because you're watering down the soil to make sure all the nutrients from your soil amendment is getting really mixed in with the regular soil. So let's see, that's thyme. It says it's thyme. So now thyme, sometimes, sometimes with that, it the sun might be a little bit too strong on it. I don't know what the.
Well, that's in a good place, because we have the shade there.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So I see all of your bags of soil. Yeah. That's good. So I like to get all of that into I have raised beds, so I like to put them all into the raised beds, get it mixed in really good. I mean, you're going to get your hands in there and mix it up like you were making a salad.
Oh, yeah.
And then, so for what month do I start growing? I just started, because we're in California, Northern California. I just started putting in my tomatoes, my veggies. Like, I have a cool crop. A cool crop is something like lettuce and those microgreens. Mm-hmm. And those you got to put in the shade. But I just started putting those in because in a shaded area, they love it. You want to make sure that you keep them moist and, away from like tomatoes. So like tomatoes, they really want a lot of sun. I have a favorite tomato. I try to go with heirloom tomatoes like Brandywine.
Mm-hmm.
Um, One of my most favorite ones that I like, it's called a Paul Robeson tomato.
Wow.
And that tomato is just fabulous. That tomato is a dark purple tomato. And
Oh, I
it
think we
is,
got some. I think we got some seeds for that. Yeah, I think that.
yes.
Uh-huh. Oh, you've got some
So
good
I
quality coming in
love,
here too.
love that. Can I please come help? Yes, I'll come help. But I grow the Paul Robeson tomatoes every year. And then, of course, I do my mixed heritage kind of growing. I have my Japanese cool microgreens, and then I have, the African American vegetables as well. I have my collard greens, my kale, and those like cool weather. So I try not to plant those in the sun, collard greens especially. And I always plan to plant my collard greens now because by Thanksgiving, that's when you're eating them.
Exactly. And so the whole purpose, for why I think it's so important when we're talking about self-love, and knowing how to garden and grow for ourselves, as well as just thinking about the COVID-19. And we can't really say, we don't know really what's going to happen. And so it used to be that communities would trade off the different kinds of vegetables and fruits and produce that they would have with one another. They had bartering systems and things like that in place. And so I know when I brought my kids up when they were young, they ate everything from the garden. I was lucky enough,
Right.
to have enough land for them to be able to do that. So here's a question for you that I have, Konami, is that a lot of times, we're fearful that the little critters are going to get in and eat up our stuff. I used to have the rabbits coming all the time, and I would use organic dried blood. What do you think about, those kinds of, and then I know Mary asked about what kind of soil, are we using when we're trying to grow organically?
When I go to the nursery, I always get a soil that is in a bag already. It's already prepared, and it's always organic. Because sometimes you go to these nurseries and they try to sell you soil that's enhanced with Miracle-Gro, and we all know that Miracle-Gro is
Monsanto.
cancerous. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So I stay away from that. I always buy organic starters. I'm very particular about that because, like I said, a lot of these nurseries have this Miracle-Gro enhanced soil, and you want to stay as far away from that as possible. So I always make sure that I look at the label of the soil. Oh, I see. Are those beets? Beet
Now
seeds?
these are onions, and
Oh, onions. You have red onions. Okay.
yeah, and so I'll tell you what I do with these onion bulbs is that I'll plant them in between my tomatoes so that they don't choke out.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
as we do the rows here, I have the you can actually even see we've just kind of laid this out. And for those of you who don't know, we're having a scorching summer
Yes.
and it's already started. And so I'm finding that we need to get out here and just constantly put water on for these fresh seedlings that we've planted, along with just everything in here is just drying out so quickly.
Yeah, but that's not going to last. But still, another thing that's really great to grow, and I do this in a bin. I take potatoes and I'll cut them up into 4, especially if the eyes already started growing, the little eye on the potato. I don't throw those out. I keep those. And what I do is I throw them into a bin, and you can layer the potato pieces with layers of soil, and you keep that watered. And I would say it's the same thing like with the collard greens. Around Thanksgiving, you're going to have some really nice potatoes. And I do red potatoes, white potatoes, and I have to tell you, they are the best.
Wow.
I've put pictures up, of course, on my Instagram of my potatoes. I get my granddaughter involved with all this because she just loves to get out there and dig in the soil, and it's good to educate her as well. She's 4 years old,
Yeah.
but it's good. She runs outside to the yard now, and she sees the raspberries growing, and of course, she's always picking them before they turn completely red, but. The raspberries are great. I don't know if you have raspberries, but I can always bring you
Yeah,
some
we have
runners.
raspberries,
Oh,
blueberries.
good.
Mhm. Neanda, I don't know. Sister Ray's asking, what's growing right here. Do you know?
What is that?
Okay, she'll probably respond in a minute. I'm
Yeah,
trying to,
I can't.
because I thought it was some kind of berry. Yeah,
I can't
raspberries.
see.
This is a
Oh, it is
raspberry. Konami, it's
raspberries.
raspberry right
Okay.
there. Uh-huh. See that?
Oh, okay. See it. I
Look at
see
that.
it. Oh, great. Yes. Oh, wait. No, those look like blackberries.
You think they're blackberries? Okay.
They look like. It looks like a black. I can't tell.
Yeah, it's
It
kind of
looks
hard.
pretty foreign.
Being
It
up,
does.
being up close to it, it looks like it's going to be raspberry to me, but I'll check in with Nee. And, oh, yeah, she's saying raspberry. Okay.
I'll have to come over.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and I'd love that because we haven't seen each other in a while.
Yeah,
Um,
I'll have to come over and look at that.
so what
But
kind
I
of
love
little tidbits,
raspberries.
what other kind of tidbits can you leave us all with? Again, today, my hope is that I really get everyone that's on and that will watch the recorded to really want to get back to some of these beautiful basics. And it's healing. It's healing.
Oh, it is.
To put your hands in the earth, to see things
Yes.
grow, and then
Oh,
to be able to eat them,
absolutely.
and then to have our children and grandchildren participate in that. And
Right.
folks, you need to get on Konami's Instagram, because she just doesn't grow the fresh produce. She also grows these beautiful, beautiful flowers. And so get on her Instagram. Also with Donna Gudges, get on hers. I mean, we are sisters that are really just trying to do some things that we're hoping, again, to empower others, not only ourselves. And so, yeah.
Yes. And today I put up this hydrating spritzer, face skin spritzer that I made with my rose petals and some lavender, my famous lavender.
I
And I
know.
put some geranium in there. It's an experiment, but I mean, it looks like it's working pretty well. I soaked them in water, and then I left it for about 2 weeks in the fridge. And then I took it out and I heated it up a little bit, not for too long. I let it come to a simmer and let it cool off, and then stuck it in a jar and put it in the refrigerator. And now, during these hot days, I can't tell you how hydrating that spray is, and it
Oh my
smells
goodness. Okay,
good.
I need to learn that one. I don't know that one.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna bring you some. I'm gonna bring you some.
And hey, everybody, it was from Konami, because some of you may have gotten lavender sashes from me over these past few years. Well, that was Konami who taught me about picking lavender and putting it
Yes.
into making it a sachet. Lavender is calming, so we're talking about, just staying stress-free. It's one of the most calming, I think, plants that one can experience, the seeds of it. So putting the seeds into a sachet, putting it under your pillow, putting it even in your clothes when you're traveling, because of its wonderful scent. And so I was walking down as I was talking Konami, so I could show the lavender plant and how it grows. I think most people know what lavender looks like. Again, we're also getting back in touch with our roots. We talk about so many of our parents and grandparents that traveled from the South to the East and the West. They knew all these things. And women we were, and maybe we'll have this conversation tomorrow because I know we're over time, but it seems like people are interested. I know Mary asked if we could go a little bit longer. And so I'm kind of taking that privilege to do so. But we as women, we were the healers of the world. And that's all over the world. And so what you saw is this, terrible transition from a matriarchal society to a patriarchal society. And I say terrible from the sense that it robbed us of all of the knowledge as related to how to heal ourselves, not with these the pharmacies that produce these synthetic pills to take. I mean, everything was natural back then. And so I'm saying we need to kind of, try to get back. So here's the lavender right there, Konami.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So
that lavender's ready to cut.
it is. I'm ready to charge it as
Yes.
soon as I get permission.
That lavender is ready.
This stuff right here. Yeah. And to be honest with you, Phoenix, my 4-year-old granddaughter, we come out here the last time this was growing like this, we came and we got all the lavender and made sachets for everybody and sent them out. So
Yes, yes.
mm,
And I noticed, I think you passed by some geranium in a pot, it looked
yeah, I
like.
did.
Okay, so geranium, in case those don't know it, but geranium oil is really good for those who suffer from depression. So if you get some of that and put it in, I don't wait for it to dry. I pick it fresh and put it in water, and I will simmer it for a little bit just to get the scent going. And then you can also spray that on your face.
Yeah, and see, that's another thing. We haven't even, I mean, maybe we need to do a part 2 to talk about the floral essences and things that we can be using that do exactly what you're talking about.
Right,
I mean, there's
right.
a lot. I'm hoping that it seems like everybody is, pretty interested in this. And I'm so happy that you all are, because this is the way to go. This is what we need to do. So we
Oh,
started
yes,
this session
yes.
today with juicing, right? And just how, especially when we talk about, they call them the superfoods as far as greens are concerned. And so beginning with planting these various fresh produce and plants and herbs, beginning with that, and then eating. I can't tell you how it feels to eat your own food that you've grown. It's amazing. You just feel great, right, Kanani?
Oh, yes,
So
definitely.
we're going to get off in about 2 minutes. So Konami, I would love for you to take us out. If there are any other tips for people, if people still have some questions. Oh, I'm so glad Lorena joined Lorena's Kitchen. I hope that you all follow Lorena. And I know Lorena from Instagram, and I know she knows my family, but we have yet to meet. But she is a wonderful chef, cooking all of these great, we're talking about fresh produce and foods, and you should see how she lays things out. Today, if you look on her page, she has fresh guacamole and dip and homemade chips with that. And so I'm hoping that Lorena, you'll join us at one point and present as well. So Kanami, leave us with some
Yes.
wisdom, my dear wise woman.
Okay, I'm just answering someone's question about the
Okay.
geranium.
Okay.
You can also just smell it. You can rub your fingers on it and then put that up to your nose and just smell it. I mean, there are days, I feel down, things going on in life, and I'll walk out to my geranium plant and just rub it a little and put it up to my nose and just, breathe it in a little, and it's just great. It's very uplifting. I say everyone should find a little place where they can grow something. You can grow things in pots.
Yeah.
If you live in an apartment, if you live in an apartment and you don't have space, grow it in a pot. I joined a collective, a cooperative here. I live in Alameda. community garden, and I have a small little plot in there, and I grow more vegetables there, the ones that really need a lot of sun. But you could grow just about anything. Right now, it really is on the upswing, but I know our people have been growing for forever. I know there's a lot of people that moved into the urban cities, and they're getting in there and growing things. But our people have been growing vegetables and herbs for years and years and years, and using it instead of going out and spending a lot of money in the stores, vegetable stands, and just living off of, like I have been, and my kids. I've been living off of my vegetables for so many years. I share my harvest. I trade off with other people. Some years I'll take a break and not grow some things. I'll switch off, like zucchini. Someone's asking about sprouting seeds. What I do with seeds is, yes, I dry them. So I'll save seeds from one season, dry them on a paper towel, and keep them for the next season. And then when I'm ready for the planting of those, I'll take them and wet the paper towel with a few of the seeds on there to get them, just to get them germinating, to get them sprouted. And then I'll put them in I use egg cartons. Egg cartons are really great to get your little seedlings going. Then what you can do, instead of buying pots, what you can do is cut those little separate egg holders and put it right in the ground. And the cardboard, it'll just disintegrate into the soil. And it's good because it's green waste. So it's going in the soil. And I get everything started that way.
Yeah, because we haven't even talked about composting. And I know a lot of you might know, oh, that's nice. Tomatoes,
that is
cilantro,
nice.
zucchini.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
And they are easy to grow. Absolutely. Anybody can grow.
So all those that are on today, let's get back to basics, okay? We're talking about self-love, and self-love is generated by the very topic that we're talking about today. It's what we put into our bodies. It matters a lot. So we're going to continue this. Obviously, Konami, we need to, probably have a part 2 with this, because I think that there's just so much to talk about, and it's great to see so many people asking the various questions. But for right now, for those of you who are on, if you haven't started your gardens, I hope this is going to be just some inspiration. And inspiration
now is the time.
in spirit. Now is the time. Okay. All right. Konami, I want to thank you so much for being a guest on the show today, and I can't wait for you to come over. It's been too long, so let's make a date. And,
yes, we'll do that.
Yeah. Okay.
So much love to you.
And same thing to you too. I'm feeling that love always, your support. And so, Konami, when I think about Donna, most of my sisters here in Oakland, they have been members of the Women's Empowerment Network since its inception. And I'm telling you, when we need to step up with things, they're on it. And so I want to encourage those who may not be members to think about becoming members as well. Okay, well, you know what we do before we hang up? We got to tell ourselves that we love ourselves, and then to each other. So call out your full names, and then just let us say how much we love ourselves and why. So Karen, Bernadette, Cardoza, McLean, Dave, I love you. I love you for being interested in planting and growing fresh food for our community. I love all of you. Since I'm outside, I'm not going to keep, what happened the last time we were outside? The phone got so heated. It died during our presentation. So I'm going to cut here. I know we've gone on longer, but I can't wait for what we're going to do tomorrow. And then Konami, let's plan on doing a part 2. I think people are really interested. Is that right? Okay. All right. Love you all. We'll see you tomorrow.